Okay, you ready to become a total market master, riding the appreciation wave from hot market to hot market? So far, we've only discussed single markets. We started in Seattle, we ended in Seattle. We started in Dallas, we ended in Dallas. When we experienced a down cycle, we intentionally limited ourselves to only one option, putting our money in the bank and waiting it out. How powerful do you think these tools would be if, instead of waiting it out for years, you invested in other hot markets all over the U.S.? What you're about to see was never really possible until now. Without the local market precision you get with housing alerts, there's no way you could successfully know when to get in and out of local markets. First, let's see what you'd have if you'd invested that same $20,000 in an average market in the U.S. from 1980 to 2017 and just held it. Technically, you can't actually invest in an average U.S. market because there's no such thing, but it'll work for comparison purposes, just to give you a baseline. We're using the same assumptions we used earlier in our local market master examples, except we're only looking for an 80% LTV mortgage this time. We're going to put down 20% and borrow the remaining 80%. That's a 5-to-1 leverage multiplier. See the chart in the lower left corner? That shows the ups and downs of the U.S. overall market. Remember, real estate cycles are like 3 steps forward, 2.5 steps back. You make money, then you give most or all of it back. On an inflation-adjusted basis, you'd realize a total profit of only $31,331 during that entire holding period. That's a 157% ROI on your $20,000 investment. That's a measly 4.2% average annual ROI. Now, let's step inside the modern world of real estate investing. We'll follow the same model we started with. So we check out our market report tools, which tells us the Nassau-Suffolk market is about to enter a wealth building phase. Let's see what you would have made as a TMMer, a total market master, if you lived where you wanted and invested where it was best. You invest that same $20K in a property in Nassau in 1981 and purchased it full retail price. You hold it, adding no additional value whatsoever. You're just riding the automatic appreciation wave every property owner gets in that market until 1987, when you start getting signals this wealth phase is coming to an end. So you sell. Your profit from that initial $20K down was $137,048, just from automatic appreciation. You also got back your $20K investment, so you have roughly $157,000 to reinvest again. As total market masters, you're no longer limited to only your local area, are you? Nope. You can now invest anywhere in the country where your money will grow the fastest, safest, surest. How do you know where the best places are to invest? No problem. You check out one of the other tools in Housing Alerts. We'll use the pro-level Dream tool this time. In 1987, Los Angeles looks like a great place to put your money. So you invest your $157,000, you buy in 1987, and sit back. In 1990, you get your exit signal, so you sell. How much did you make? How about a $298,838 profit? Let's add back our initial investment, and you now have $455,886 to reinvest in the next hot appreciating market. You pull up your gold level hot market finder software, and in less than a minute you find Portland, Oregon. You invest your profit along with your original $20K in Portland, Oregon, then sit back and watch. 1998 rolls around and it's time to sell. How'd you do? You'd realize a profit of over $1.1 million from Portland, for a total profit so far of just over $1.6 million. Can you see how this works? All you do is go from hot market to hot market and ride the local wave. Remember, you're buying at full retail, adding no additional value, putting 20% down, and simply waiting for the next signal. The FAR, GAP, HAM system in all its glory. It doesn't get any easier than this. Okay, so you pulled your profits out of Portland, checked the star momentum indicators, and found that San Diego is looking sweet. So you invest your $1.6 million in San Diego, and you ride the wave until 2005, when you see hotter markets to pursue. How much profit did San Diego give you over those 10 years? How about $10,949,891, almost $11 million in profit, simply from being in the right place at the right time, on purpose. No guessing, no gambling, just following the trail of hot markets. Adding back your $1.6 million, you now have over $12.5 million in cumulative profit to reinvest. Remember, we're still in the same period that we used when we were looking at our single city examples, investing only locally. Can you see the difference when you leverage all of the markets available as a total market master? So here you are now, with over $12.5 million to invest. What do you think we do next? Yep, look for the next hot market. Let's get out your hot market finder tool again, and after a couple of minutes of research, you find Odessa, Texas in 2005. You invest your $12.5 million in Odessa, and you get the signal to sell in 2009. How much automatic appreciation did Odessa, Texas give you? How about over $24.1 million in profit? $24,165,222. That's the beauty of real estate. If you combine automatic appreciation with leverage, it doesn't take long to double or quadruple your investment. Remember our leverage example earlier? 10% appreciation and a 10-to-1 leverage ratio doubles your equity each year. We're keeping it real simple here, using the FAR gap HAM system. Find an average realtor, get an average property in a hot, appreciating market. Our example captures the automatic appreciation each market gives you just for being there. We ignore forced appreciation and value-added strategies completely. In hot markets, you can get much more aggressive than we did in our simple example. For starters, you can do no-money down deals or rehabs with cash-out refis to control multiple properties. Tax sale investing works infinitely better in hot, vibrant markets. Investing in notes is far more secure when the collateral is appreciating. Wholesaling can actually be profitable in hot, active markets. Multifamily and commercial real estate trends follow residential. You can and should use this for any and every real estate investing technique. Appreciation is the sweet sauce that makes everything else work. There's no limit to what you can achieve. Now, altogether, you've made over $36.7 million so far. In 2013, when people were bemoaning the demise of any good real estate deals, you sifted through the markets with your HousingAlerts tools and found Reno, Nevada, of all places. You invested your $36 million and sold near the end of 2017. Reno gave you almost $130 million. As a total market master, all told, you've now made $166 million compared to the $31,000 you did over the same time period as an average investor, oblivious to individual market cycles. That's an 833,000% ROI compared to 157% ROI. Did I say that right? An 833,000% ROI. Yep, turning 20K into 166 million will do that for you. That's an extra 166 million from investing smarter, letting automatic appreciation do all your heavy lifting. Under the old way of doing things, you earned $1.57 for each dollar you invested. Under this FAR gap HAM example, you earned more than $8,000 for each dollar you invested. You didn't use any special real estate skills or tactics. You didn't send out thousands of mailers looking for distressed homeowners. You didn't knock on doors or post bandit signs all over the neighborhood. You didn't do any inbound or outbound marketing. You didn't post to Craigslist or maintain any buyer-seller websites to generate and manage your leads. No bird dogs, no virtual assistants. You didn't go down endless dead-end paths being jerked around by buyers, sellers, and banks. You didn't risk violating all the new foreclosure and seasoning laws. No A to B and B to C closings to orchestrate. No complex, stressful financing to arrange. And no working like a dog jumping through hoops for months, only to find out months later it was all a wasted effort. In fact, you didn't invest much of your time at all. You simply found an average realtor, got an average property in a hot, appreciating market. You only had to get one thing right, the HAM, the hot, appreciating market. And we've done that for you. One small, simple change can take you from $31,000 to $166 million, from 157% ROI to an 833,262% ROI. Sound too good to be true? When you boil it all down, all we're doing is avoiding the times where you give all your profit back and replacing it with leveraged returns from being in an appreciating market. Obviously, in this example, you eventually own too much real estate to buy and sell in a single day. There are typically lots of hot emerging markets and lots of flat and declining markets, all at the same time. We used a single hot market to make it easy to follow. In reality, you could be spreading that portfolio amongst multiple hot markets. And you can estimate for yourself how much better your results would be if you bought properties at a discount, or put less money in the deal, or started off with more properties. Imagine your results if you combined some of the great forced appreciation strategies and actually added value. Most important, please remember that you can do everything right year after year, but in this volatile market, it only takes one mistake to wipe out a lifetime of success. I've personally seen many smart, super successful real estate investors, inches away from retiring, get completely wiped out in local down cycles. At last check, there's something like 100 different home renovation and flipping shows on TV. We're seeing a huge influx of new investors and wannabe home flippers. I really hope each of you succeeds beyond your wildest dreams. Real estate's a great career. I've done it all my life. Haven't had a boss since the early 80s, if you don't count my wife. Some of you probably take exceptions to my mantra. It's the market, stupid. You may think, this time it's different, or I'm only in it for the cash flow, or investing for appreciation is speculation, or I'm a wholesaler, markets don't matter. To those who still believe in those outdated mottos, stop. Open your eyes. You are wrong. Of this, I am 100% certain. If you continue to invest blindfolded to the market, you will fail. In many cases, you'll fail spectacularly, forced into foreclosure and maybe bankruptcy like millions of wholesalers, flippers, and buy and holders did a few years back. Being over-leveraged in a declining market is the kiss of death with no escape hatch. Or you'll fail slowly, living a frustrated life full of stress and hard work, never knowing why you aren't tasting the same easy success you hear about or see on TV. Either way, failure is failure. Your spouse, your mother-in-law, your family and friends, even your children will see you in a different light. You will look at yourself differently. I wasted a big chunk of my early real estate career, my life, investing in flat real estate markets. Back then, I didn't know any better. No one knew any better. And I'm not saying this because I want you to buy housing alerts. I'm at a point in my life where, honestly, it just doesn't matter. I'm telling you this because that pain is avoidable. Why shouldn't you succeed? Well, what you've seen here is your key. It's exactly the same thing I've told my children and anyone I've loved and cared for. I've invested over 100,000 hours of my life learning and doing all things real estate. That experience can save you a lot of painful lessons and heartache, if you let it. The world isn't flat anymore. Hurricanes don't show up unannounced anymore. Technology has changed everything. Why would you still invest oblivious to your market? If you don't get the significance of what you've seen here, investing intelligently with local cycles, you'll learn it sooner or later, the hard way.